Hi, welcome to UX Living Lab. Our presentation will start soon. Hi everyone, welcome today. Today we are talking about next session of how to build sustainable innovation ecosystem for small brands. Last few weeks we talk about this topic, how to build a sustainable innovation ecosystem. So we discussed about the introductory part, then designing different components. Now we are talking about startup monitoring. Very interesting topic and very new topic in if you compare to or if you talk to the traditional companies. So this is really a new topic. So startup monitoring, what it is. So before that, I will give a brief introduction or briefing about what we had discussed in last week's. So initially we discussed about channel partners, then we talk about competitors, markets, then we talk about customers. Today we are talking about startups, then other designing components are other industries, internal team, academia, and government. Before coming to the topic, I will introduce myself. I'm Thomas. I'm from UX Living Lab. We talk open innovation journeys. That is, open innovation journey starts from ideation, then going to concept, then designing look and feel, then rapid prototyping, evaluation of MVP, and market feedback. Then we talk about how to listen users and how to plan the project and how to execute, deploy, and measure open innovation journeys. So if you want to talk to me, scan this QR code and fix an appointment with us. Also, you are welcome for any type of discussions as well as we can you can share my presentation to your colleagues and friends. Also, I invite your comments. Okay, coming back to topic. Okay, coming back to topic, startup monitoring. Very interesting topic to watch. So everybody knows what is startup. We loosely define startup as a new company we started in last 3 years. So after 3 years, nobody considered any company a startup company. So the company having a lifespan less than 3 years is called startup company. And if they are new to business, maybe the first generation business person or second generation business, that doesn't matter. But it's having its own difference if there is a second generation or third generation business. But being a first generation business is really tough and it's being a real startup. But we consider startup as a in company which starts or business which started in last 3 years. In nowadays, most of the governments have the list of startups because government is more interested to promote the startup culture. So actually, what is startup? Why we should monitor startup? That is a question in front of us. Who is startup? That is less than 3 years of company. We call it a startup. Then why should we monitor startup? Use startup monitoring to identify market trends, develop new products, identify external threats, and take advantage of growth opportunities. These are the purpose of startup monitoring. Startup monitoring means Our company is not startup, or I'm talking to you, your company is not a startup company, but you are monitoring other startups in your industry or related industry. So use startup monitoring method to identify market trends, develop new products, identify external threats, and take advantage of growth opportunities. These are the purpose of startup monitoring. What is a strategy? Oh, when does startup monitoring make sense for a company? Take it as a strategy. When does startup monitoring make sense for a company? What is the purpose? Oh, okay, what it gives to you, when you need a market and trend overview, that's one of the purposes. Another is if you want to know change in your industry at an early stage and use this knowledge for your strategy, because when we monitor startups, we know that what is the new things happening in the industry. So when you want to change your industry at an early stage, when you want to know the changes of your industry, because you don't know the changes of the industry, because you are a traditional company, or you may be having long standing, you are continuing your business. So what is new coming into, so you may not be aware about it. So is a better place is look into startups and use knowledge for it, then use that knowledge for your strategy. That makes sense. Then you would like to develop product and services together with startups. Some companies are joining with startups so they can develop new products and services with startups. That is another purpose. And if you're looking for innovative ideas and new business models, because most of the startups are coming with new business models, it's a disruptive methods. A lot of the disruptive methods are coming into, for example, Uber or a lot of other companies they can look into. So they are coming with very disruptive methods. So it will shaking the existing industry. So if you are looking for innovative ideas and new business models, you have to look into startups. Then you would like to know for which challenge solution from startups already exists in the market. So you may be thinking that you are innovating your company, you are coming with a new things, but a startup already done that. Okay, what are the at the same time, what are the challenges of the industry? Because some of the challenges startup is solving. So these are the purpose of monitoring startups. So what should be your strategy? For example, when building a innovation ecosystem, one of the component is startup monitoring. So there are a lot of components. One of the components is startup monitoring. So what should be the strategy? So the strategies are very simple. We can conclude into 4 steps. That is segmentation, market research, market overview, strategies on startups. So I will explain it in detail. So these 4 strategies you are implement in your business while monitoring startups. What is segmentation? Every week I am explaining about segmentation. This segmentation is also almost same, but I have a little difference because it's talking to startups. So number of employees, this is one of the condition for segmentation. So how many employees are there in the startup? It's a big startup or small startup, depending on the number of employees, you can categorize the size of the startups. That is one segmentation method. Another is geographic location. So you note down all of the startups and which country it is, or which city it is, or which state it is. You can monitor or you can group them according to the geographic locations, then monitor. Then industry types. There may be same industry as you are in, but it's sometimes related industry, sometimes it's a supplier to you, sometimes it is a part of the chain, business chain in with you. So what industry type it is, based on that you can classify startups. Then process followed. Some startups have a very different type of follow process, that is very innovative process or very disruptive process. So what process the startup is following, that's one of the important criteria for segmentation. Then investment, that's what the total size, total investment of the startup, based on that you can classify. So these are the very simple segmentation methods. Also you can add if there is any segmentation is required. So anyway, you have to segment them group. That is very important. You have to segment. So what we suggest is you can segment based on number of employees, number of locations or geographic locations, industry types, process followed, and investments. These are the main segmentations we can follow. Then next strategy, as we explained earlier, is market research. As we listed earlier, is market research. What it is, you have to monitor the market 24 hours. That is very important. How we can monitor the market? That's the best method is market research. The market research talking about the primary data. What are the primary data you can collect? From where you can collect the primary data? That is channel partners. One of the important segment you already developed for you is channel partners. So you can use that channel for conducting research. What are the new startup coming into your industry or new products are coming in? It's from startup like that. Then customers, of course, you already have the component of customers. You can talk to customers. They talk customers also give these are the new products or new methodologies coming into market. So you can collect this information from customers. Then the third one is little bit different. There's a patents and copyrights. So nowadays, most of the countries are keeping the list of patents and copyrights. So when there is a patent, you can assume that there is a chance of coming that patent into market. So look into the patents related to your industry and copyrights related to industry. So within 2 years, that will be in market. That's very interesting category and more authentic than any of this because patents and copyrights people are applying for patents and copyrights, so it's more authentic. So that's a public information available with government. You have to closely watch the patents and copyrights related to your business, so you can make sure that that will come into market within 2 years. So other method is social media. Other method is social media. So you can watch social media. So people are discussing about new methods, new trends, etc. in social media. So that's the best way to collect information about startups. The next is market overview. What it is. So you have to generate or you have to build a general idea about the market. So that is mainly talking about secondary reports. There are a lot of secondary reports available from your product. That is, you can watch the secondary report. Then you have to attend webinars. Lot of webinars conducted or related to your industry. You have to watch the webinars to get a market overview. The other method is public information. There are a lot of public information available with government or as well as some other company registrars, or a lot of public information is available. So you can look into that information for getting idea about new companies coming to your business or your business category. Then industry expert, talk to industry expert always. They have better idea than you about the new startups. Then watch and participate in social media groups. So specific groups are there. For example, in LinkedIn or in the type of professional groups are there. So you have to be participate in it to get a idea or market overview about startups. Okay, how these strategic benefits from startups. How these things are benefits for you, the strategic benefits from startups. So these information you can use for your product and service development, because startup comes with a new products, new methods of manufacturing, or new methods of management. You can use it in your product and service development process. The next option or next thing you can innovate is pricing methods. They're coming with a different type of pricing method. For example, value based pricing, cost plus pricing. Everybody knows there are market pricing, psychological pricing, a lot of different ways of pricing. Flexible pricing, premium. Okay, there are a lot of different ways of pricing. You may be a traditional company, you know only the cost plus pricing. So look into other way of pricing, discounts, and how to make all these things in a seasonal base or time-based effect of pricing and discounts. All these things the new startups are trying, so you can learn it from that and implement in your business if required. Then advertising method, new methods of advertising, especially in social media or other digital methods of advertising. So they actually startups won't follow the traditional method of advertisement in newspaper or in TV, but they are coming in advertisement in YouTube or Discord or different type of channels they will advertise. Then other one is team building. Okay, there is a the new topic called startup culture. What it is? So how to build a startup culture in your organization so your team can be built based on this startup culture method. That will be a very innovative method for your team to excel and giving more contribution to the industry as well as your business. The other area where we can use all this information is digitalization, because all the startups mainly they start with paperless and completely digitalized form. And if they are manufacturing a physical product, they also add a software to that. This digitalization is very high in startups. You may be also digitalizing, but startups are digitalizing in a heavy way, heavy level, that is very deep level. So you can learn digitalization from that. Then consumer interaction method. There are a lot of different new touch point methods with consumer. So you can use that methods in your industry. These are the main areas where you can use all these methods, startup methods in your business. Then, what are the main takeaways? As I explained, startup monitoring is mainly talk about use to identify market trends, develop new products, identify external threats, and take advantage of growth opportunities. These are the main purpose of startup monitoring. So, what startup monitoring is, as I explained earlier, is just watching the startups. That's all, or monitor the startups. Then other thing we discuss is segmentation, different ways of segmentation, the grouping of startups. Then we had to conduct 24 hours market research on startup, how they uh, behave or how they do the business. We had to learn from them using market research and learn about different innovative methods from market overview. That's the other method you had to follow uh, as a strategy, as a daily strategy. We have to follow that. Then strategies on startup, and then you have to build a strategies on startup. So people will say that okay, it's some one of the very interesting experience I have is when you talk to big companies, they say that our industry is a very huge investment oriented industry. So no startup can enter to the market very fast. Otherwise, think about the hotel industry. Look into where five-star hotel needs millions of investments. Think about the new entry to that market, Airbnb, shaken the entire industry with no investment. So that's the way the startup will come to your market. So even sometimes you can't identify. So they will completely shake in your industry. Then only you notice that okay, the startup is completely changing the scenario, and we have to move towards that. So look into the Airbnb. They are shaking the worldwide hotel industry by using their method. The other method is Uber, already done with taxis. There are a lot of startups are coming like that, taking the traditional method and coming with the entirely new concepts. completely new concept, maybe digital concepts. Otherwise, in a physical products, or they come with a very entirely different concept. So only when you loosen your market share, then only you notice that there is a problem. So this coming from this method, people are shifting towards that. For example, online purchases. Think about a shop, and you stick on the traditional way of sales, and now everything comes to online. So if they are not there in the online, they will be out. So that's a way that startup is shaking the industry in a small level as well as in big level. So you have to keenly watch the startups and prepare the strategies. Then, as we said, the benefits. Benefits are product service development process, new methods in product and service development, then pricing methods, advertising methods, team building, and digitalization. So you can learn a lot of cost-effective method, especially in team building, advertising, pricing. You can find a lot of new methods. That's another thing is you can learn it from very early stage because startups, when you look into monitor startups, they may be in just starting stage, so you can implement that strategy very fast if they learn it earlier. So the best way is watch the patents, copyrights, another method, so you can learn or you will get the information very early stage. Also, there are a lot of websites available to give that information that also you can monitor. Okay, what's next? Uh, so we will be okay on. So I'm done with today. So what we already covered is, as I said earlier, is vendors we covered, competitors covered, customers covered, startup is covered today, and next week we will be talking about other industries. So what are the actually what is ecosystem and what is a component of the ecosystem? Ecosystem is the entire thing connected to that innovation, connected to your business, that we can say define it as an ecosystem. And we are talking about small brands in ecosystem. These are the components of the ecosystem we propose. That is channel partners, competitors, customers, startups, other industries, internal team, academia, and government. So we will be discussing one by one. Then next week we'll come with other industries. Okay, thank you for your time. Thank you so much. Questions. At the same time, if you want to share this presentation to your colleagues, please do that. At the same time, you can talk to me by scanning this QR code, fix an appointment. We can talk about any strategies connected to open innovation journeys or ecosystem. Please put up your questions in the comment box. Also, you are invited to share presentation and subscribe to our newsletter, UX Living Lab News. Thank you so much.